My next guest, he had 3 days to go over all these numbers. Let's bring him in for his assessment of the situation. Please welcome into the show Mr. Dan Geltrude. Dan, thanks for coming to us all the way from Clifton, New Jersey. All right, Dan. The numbers, they were pretty good. I mean, it's good to see something positive, especially after the last jobs number we got. Where does that put us now? Because I'll say this and give the floor to you. I did look at the CME FedWatch, and obviously there's no change, and they don't think there'll be any change in rates at the next meeting. But you got to go all the way out to like even a year from now to see a little bit of a budge in that consensus. Right now, it seems like we're locked right in here.
I think we are, Scott. Now, when we break things down here, there's no question that we got a really good headline with these job numbers. However, I do think there's a weak foundation in the jobs report, and I think the Fed knows that. And that's why the projections here is that rates are going to stay higher for longer. So let's break this down a little further. You know, the unemployment rate fell, but for the wrong reason. It fell because you have the labor force shrinking, right? It shrank. So what that means is that you actually have people that are out there that are not employed that are simply leaving the game. They're giving up. So I think there's more behind this number that puts us a little bit on shaky ground, and we need to be aware of that. You know, I'm big out there saying that AI is just beginning to eat into the labor force. So we'll take these numbers for what they are, but I think in the future, Scott, you know, I'm not exactly bullish on what we're going to see here.
Yeah, you know, I kind of smell that you're kind of, you know, smelling. You can smell what I'm cooking here. I agree with you. I don't think the jobs market's in for a rosy period here, and I actually do believe if you think that things are okay, you might be whistling by the graveyard. And I don't want to be too Debbie Downer about it, but you know, it's my job, our job, to look around the corner to see if we can see what's coming, Dan. And I tell you, if you know, people are going to use AI as a reason to shed people naturally, and they're also going to use AI to shed people they wanted to shed but couldn't find an excuse. And so that's already starting to happen. And so I don't believe, a lot of folks out there tell me I'm wrong, and I hope I am, but I don't really believe this is the first time I've ever seen technology that's come through that's really meant to replace the human. Everything else has been an add-on to the human, right? And yes, we did see some people lose their jobs when it came to those assembly lines. I get it. But generally speaking, I know for a fact, anecdotally, that I can see the job market when it comes to being a lawyer or an accountant or an investment banker. Those types of jobs, beginning jobs, are few and far between now. It's harder and harder for kids to get those jobs out of college because a lot of those entry-level positions are being done by artificial intelligence. But then on the other end of the job spectrum, you know, we have Craig Bolanos. We're going to talk to him on tomorrow or Wednesday. He's a retirement guy. More and more people are staying in the market longer to work. So we're not seeing a lot of jobs free up either because people are having a hard time at the other end of the job scale. So I agree with you. I'm not bullish on what's coming around the corner when it comes to jobs. Now, I hope there's a cottage industry that we see a lot of jobs get created from. I hope there's a lot of, you know, plumbers and electricians and welders that have to build all these data centers that they talk about. I hope that's the case. But man, I tell you what, if your job is to gather data and you're a white collar guy and all you do is make a decision after gathering the data, I think you got a target on your back.
No doubt about it. Now, I'll tell you this, Scott, if from what I am seeing, so personally, so as you know, I am an adjunct professor at Montclair State University, and I always poll my students because I teach grad school. So I'm getting these students, some that are already in the job force, but many that are just getting ready to go out. So they got their undergrad and then they went straight to graduate school. And I can tell you absolutely that there is a significant decline in these students that are aligned with jobs post-graduation. Just a few years ago, almost all of my students that were within a semester of graduating had jobs lined up. I could tell you that has shrunk, where now it's about 2/3 have jobs lined up. So I see it with my own eyes that you have a third less students having these new jobs coming out of school. Now, on top of that, if you look at, for example, Oracle, right? Oracle laying off 20 to 30,000 employees, 18% of their workforce. Now, they're saying that the reason they're doing that is that they are redeploying capital, right, to be able to build these data centers. So I believe that a 20% reduction in the workforce all around, well, let's say for white collar jobs, Scott, 20% reduction in the workforce over the next couple of years is absolutely a reasonable estimate based upon AI.
Yeah, well, that's the issue. And the reason why I say what I say is every time I hear the smart guys, like the really smart guys, like Josh Altman or whatever his name is, and Elon Musk and the likes, when they start talking about artificial intelligence and jobs, they don't ever have those conversations without then backing it up with universal basic income. It's very odd, but they always come up with, what are we going to do with these people, because there's going to be no work. And that's what I don't like. And so then we have Anthropic AI. There was a good article over the weekend. I don't know where I read it, but they're saying that stuff, I mean, there's some dangerous AI out there that we also have to keep our eyes on. So I'm going to be hypersensitive about this subject, because I do think that it's going to be bad for the jobs market. A lot of folks that we have on this show tell me I'm wrong, because they think it's going to have other jobs. There's new jobs that are going to come out of it. I hope so. I hope I am wrong, but I don't see it. I'll give you the last 20 seconds.
Well, Scott, I'm on your side on this. Do I think some of these jobs are going to be replaced with new types of jobs because of AI? Yes. Do I think it's going to replace them all? No, I don't. And maybe this is another show, universal basic income. That's a dangerous place for us to go, but I fear we could end up there.
Yeah, that's my worry too. And I mean, what was the quote I heard too? You're not going to lose your job to AI. You're going to lose your job to a person that knows how to leverage AI. Maybe that's the answer. I hope that is. I would love to see that be the answer. But I just think that when you've got Oracle getting rid of almost 20% of their workforce, 18%, that's got to tell you something. I'm sorry, you can't hide from that. That's significant. So we'll see. Appreciate you coming on. Always, we could have a not much longer conversation. Maybe we'll do it on a Friday afternoon with a bottle of red wine and a couple of cigars. Appreciate you coming on the show, Dan. I hope you had a great holiday. Let's have a great week, and I'll talk to you again next week, brother. All right, let's move along. Here we go.